Hi everyone, and welcome back to Wonderful World. I've been really busy, but the renovation and rearranging are done. So as promised, today's video is going to be an updated reptile room tour for 2002. 2022 is what I meant to say. The main thing that's changed in here is that I've moved anything music related to another room in my house. So the reptile room no longer doubles as a music studio. And along with that, I've removed the closet doors and made use of the closet space by moving these shelves into the closet with my king snake and my garter snakes. And on this side, I built a shelf to hold my crested gecko and a small shelf for my tarantulas. And underneath that is plenty of room for my dubia roaches, crickets, fruit flies, isopods, and springtails. So I'll start here where the closets were, and on the top left is the enclosure for my California king snake, Rex. He's about 8 months old now. Although his enclosure doesn't have any plants, it does have a lot of bioactive substrate with a healthy population of isopods and springtails. And I've recently switched him from an under the tank heat mat to a deep heat projector, as I have been doing for all my snakes. But at this stage in his life, Rex spends a lot of his time completely buried in the substrate. And underneath Rex is the enclosure for my pair of eastern garter snakes, Daryl and Carol. And if you follow the channel, then you no doubt have seen Daryl and Carol. There really are kind of a handful to keep, but they're beautiful and fun to watch. And right now you won't see much of Daryl because his eyes are blue and he's curled up in his hide, ready to shed. And it looks like Carol is just waking up for the morning. So in the middle of the wall here is the vivarium for my pair of tiger-legged monkey tree frogs. And they are deep in hiding right now, so we won't see them right now. And I'll put a shot up of them that I took last night. I came into the room and just turned on the light, and you can see that Basil is hiding in the corner here. And at this moment, I couldn't find Parsley. Parsley is in there somewhere. But these frogs are really shy. They only come out when the lights are out. And once I flipped on this light, it'll only take a few minutes before him to decide he's going to go hide somewhere outside of the light. But it does make it seem really special when I do get to see them. They are just beautiful, and as shy as they are, it just makes them seem that much more intriguing. So on the right side of this wall is my crested gecko, Morgan. And I've recently started to wonder if Morgan might have been an imported gecko and I didn't know it. In any case, he is the wildest and most insane reptile I have ever owned. I've tried to work with him, I've tried to build some trust, but Morgan is just crazy. He's beautiful and I love him, but he's crazy. I started to think he would never tame down, but that's just who Morgan is. So around the corner brings us to the enclosure for Jerry, who is my ball python. Jerry is not quite 2 years old. He is a male pastel inchy ball python. He's really a super friendly and chill snake. He has never hissed or struck at me once, and he and I have developed quite a bond. He's growing a lot, and if he keeps growing, he might need a bigger enclosure, but for now, he's really comfortable and at home in this 40-gallon enclosure. And next to Jerry is the 55-gallon paludarium for my Bullfrog, Lucille. And recently I put some new ferns into this paludarium, and ever since I did that, Lucille spends almost her entire day in the corner behind the ferns, and then comes out into the water at night. And next to Lucille is this chest of drawers that I converted into two enclosures with my leopard gecko Laverne on the top and my corn snake pumpkin on the bottom. And one of these days I'll be redoing this and giving it new doors. For now, the plexiglass doors have become scratched and it's a little hard to see inside of these enclosures. But you can see Laverne has a whole bunch of rocks with lots of nooks and crannies to hide in. She's asleep in there right now. She has a deep heat projector as well as a UVB light. And Laverne has a great personality. She loves coming out and being held. And Laverne is the one animal in this room that gets total freedom of choice when she wants to come out of her enclosure or not. And we have a pretty regular habit of hanging out together every night before I go to bed. And if you follow my channel, then I'm sure you've seen Pumpkin. Pumpkin is 2.5 years old. He's an amelanistic male corn snake. He also has a deep heat projector and UVB. And of all of the animals in this room, Pumpkin really is my baby. He's very special to me and I love him so much. And moving around the corner again brings us to Carl, my giant green day gecko. And Carl is a very skittish and shy animal, but he's getting more and more comfortable with me. Recently, he's been willing to lick food off of my fingertips, and he doesn't freak out at all as much as he used to when I need to clean out his vivarium. And Carl has a heat pad on the side, on the top wall of his enclosure. And he also has a Zoomed Nano dual dome with a heat lamp and a UVB to bask in. And I can watch Carl all day. Carl is one animal that every single spot on his body is just beautiful to look at. Whether it's his white underbelly or the brilliant green colors on his back and tail. And there are other colors like red and blue and purple. And there are all kinds of different shaped scales. And he is just a gorgeous animal to look at. And next to Carl is the vivarium for my 3 Anole lizards, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. And I know anoles are known to be hard to keep alive. You have to have the parameters in their environment exactly right or they won't live for very long. I've had these guys for about 5 months now, and they're eating, they're pooping, and they're very active. So I think they're doing well, and they've been so much fun to take care of. So moving on over, we come to this vivarium, which doesn't have anyone living in it right now. And I'm just waiting for the warm weather to come and be warm enough to ship. And then you'll see who's going to be living here. It's something that I'm super excited about. And in the corner here is the recently upgraded vivarium for my tomato frog Scarlet. And he seems to be happy in his new vivarium. He's usually hunkered down in either one of these pots, or he's hiding around underneath or on top of these plants. And along the wall here is a 40-gallon breeder aquarium that is the vivarium for my 4 Dendrobates tinctorius powder blue dart frogs. Dart frogs are so beautiful, and these tinctorius are so bold. They're active and out and about all day long. And room temperature is just fine for these guys, and I leave the temperature in here to be in the low to mid 70s all the time. And with dart frogs, bioactivity and plants are a must, as the plants help to maintain the high level of humidity that they need. And you can see that moving the snakes into this closet space, I now have an empty space available. And I'm going to be building a 4-foot by 2-foot by 4-foot enclosure for a boa constrictor. And it's absolutely going to be the most elaborate and epic vivarium that I've ever built, and I'm so excited for it. This probably won't happen until the summer, but when it does, I'll make sure that everyone will be able to watch it take shape every step of the way. So that is the reptile room right now. It really is my happy place, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it. If you did, then please consider subscribing to the channel. And until the next video, I look forward to seeing you again soon.